Oh, hey guys, welcome back to the party. Today we're going to be cutting up a 68 GMC pickup truck cab. Well, not the whole cab itself, but we are going to be cutting out the entire floor pan and replacing it with a new one that I got from Auto Metal Direct. Now, at some point, I will also have to replace the rocker panels and the cab corners, but for right now, the main focus is to get the old floor pan cut out so that we can start prepping it, measuring it, making sure everything's straight, and then we can start welding in the new floor pan and then work our way out from there. Now, if you've never tackled anything like this before yourself, it can be a little bit of a daunting task and mildly intimidating, but for the most part, it's a very straightforward process, and don't worry, you're going to be right along with me every step of the way. But there's no point standing around just talking about it. Let's get to work. Before I went any further, I wanted to bring this to your guys' attention. As you can see, you've got a brace that runs down the firewall here to the inner brace on the floor pan. One thing you don't want to do is cut into this brace. You can see they overlap right here, so it's okay to cut into this inner brace, but you don't want to cut into this brace on the firewall itself because that's where your new floor pan is going to sit into, and then they're going to weld together via spot welds. So again, it's okay to cut into this one, don't cut into this one. All right, y'all, we got a big chunk of the pasture side cut out. Still need to go through and clean up some of these edges. Like, that's all got to be pulled out of there. Then we need to grind all the way up to this pinch weld right here. So all this from about here back needs cut back to that pinch weld. And of course, got to go in and finish cutting out the rest of this inner rocker assembly. And then I've got this whole big section here needs to come out. And then got to come up through the top because all of this, even all the way to the back part of the cab, has to come out. But yeah, we're kicking some butt here. Just got to cut out the rest of the driver's side. And just in case any of you were curious as to the plasma cutter I'm using, this is a Forney Industries 40P. I've also got their 190 ACDC MP welder. It's kind of a 4-in-1 welder that does MIG, TIG, arc, and flux core. So these guys are a big sponsor on the channel, so big shout out to them for helping me out on this project. One thing I will say I like about this plasma cutter, and this is something that's good for you DIY guys, is that I can run it off of a 120 volt compressor. This is just a DeWalt 30-gallon tank. You don't have to hook this up to a 240. You can just plug it right into a regular wall outlet, run your plasma cutter, and this thing keeps up just fine with that thing. So pretty handy to have for you DIY guys. Well, y'all, we got ourselves a pretty big hole here, to say the least. But I got pretty much everything cut out, the big pieces anyway. I'd say I'm about 90% done. I still got to go through and clean up all these edges and stuff. Also, I got a big pile of rusty metal out front that I need to clean up. But yeah, I'm going to take the rest of the evening, get the garage cleaned up, get everything prepped, and hopefully tomorrow we can start mocking up that floor pan and start tacking her in. Well, that took a little longer than expected. Jeez Louise. Yeah, I ran into a little bit of extra rust issues that I did not anticipate. There was some corrosion kind of in the bottom side of the A-pillars there on the inside of the cab where they kind of meet in the corner there of the firewall. And then on the back side, there's a little brace that kind of holds together the rear part of the floor pan the rear part of the cab corner and the rear part of the rocker panel. And that brace was completely rotted out on both sides as well. So, but luckily went through, just made some new patches, whatever, got it done. But I think we're just about ready to slide this thing under here. It is a little too wide to fit between the center blocks, so I think I'm just going to cut out this section of the cab corner, which is fine because we're replacing the cab corners anyway. That way I can kind of tilt it on an angle, just kind of shimmy it in there. And then once it's straight, we use the floor jack to bump it up into place. And luckily there's two fuel tank brackets that are still mounted to the rear part of the cab, and that'll help locate the holes where it needs to bolt in on the rear part, and then the lip on the bottom side of the firewall in the front will kind of locate it there. But yeah, let's get this cab corner cut out and see what we can do about getting this thing in there. Well, that didn't work. Yeah, as long as those center blocks are there, that thing is not going to fit. Like, no matter how I spin it, no matter how many times I try to shimmy it in there, it's just not going to go. So, just got to bite the bullet. I got to get the cab back off the center blocks, set it down on the ground, and then flip it on its back. And that's probably going to be the easiest way, honestly, at this point. Which, I was trying to avoid that, but it is what it is. So, let's see if we can get this thing back on the ground. Well, top the center blocks. All right, that was a little sketchy, but hey, it's on the ground now, so that's all that matters. So I got these moving blankets laid down. Just got to tilt this thing up, set it on its back, and hopefully get that floor pan in. Now I just need to figure out exactly how I'm going to get this thing on its back. I have an idea. I don't know if it's going to work, but I think it's going to work. We'll just have to see. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. Whew. All right. That worked. Okay, well, that was interesting. Man, we are firing on all cylinders today. But hey, look at it. It's laid back. This will be super easy. Now I can just take the old floor pan, just slide it up, and just ka-tunk, set it in there. I can bolt it up to those fuel tank brackets, and then from there, it'll pretty much be in place. You know, just gotta find a couple spots to spot weld it to, and then, man, we're off to the races. So, let's see if this thing will slide in there. All right, so what I'm running into is I need to get these little braces to fit into the pockets of this floor pan right here and right here, and I can't quite get it finagled in enough at the right angle, and I think a lot of it has to do with my patch panels I put in on both sides here. I think I might have built them out just a little bit too wide, so it's got nothing to do with the floor pan itself. It's more of something I did here. But honestly, I'm kind of just I'm kind of over it today. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and take the cutoff wheel, do one smooth, clean cut across this brace so that all that can get tucked back in there. And once it's in place, we can weld the brace back into place, down into these pockets, and call it good. All right, we're just about ready to give this another try here, but before I do, I have a question for all of you out on the internet. So when I got these new floor pans, they also came with these extra braces that slide over the rear corners like so, and the bolt holes line up perfectly with the gas tank brackets. But the thing is, when I pulled the old floor pan out, it didn't have these. So I'm just curious if you guys know. I couldn't really find like a straight answer on the internet or any forums or anything like that. So I didn't know if maybe this was some extra bracing that GM added, like in the later models, like 69 or 70 or something. But if you all know, or if you all have the answer to when and how and where these brackets came from, or these extra braces came from, throw it down in the comments, just because I'm very curious to know the answer. But I'm gonna go ahead and tack these in place just so they don't shimmy around while I'm putting this thing in there, and then give this another try. All right, so here's our situation now. I pretty much got this corner shoved into place. It's got a little bit of a gap right there. This side is, it's still just not really going, but I think the main problem is all the weight is like shoving down on the firewall area. So like, gosh, I don't know. The best thing I think is to actually get the cab back on the ground, and I think that'll give enough momentum to shove this lip up and kind of re-square it, because like I said, I think the whole cab is just sagging right now, and I don't have a port of power or anything to like spread it apart one way or the other. So yeah, I think unfortunately got to get this thing back on the ground. Hopefully that gives enough weight and momentum to shove the floor pan the rest of the way in and square it up, and but only one way to find out, I guess. So check this out. Like, never mind my sketchy setup here with the engine hoist and this floor jack holding up the back part of the roof, but hey, it's working. So I got these holes are actually lining up now. I can actually get bolts in on this side. Yeah, those are lined up. Let's check this side. Not quite, but I bet I could put a punch in there and get them lined up pretty easy. But hey, look at that. Well, that worked out better than I anticipated. So I'm gonna try and get some bolts in on that side, get some in this side, and shoot, if that lines up, we can try mounting up to the back side on the fuel tank brackets. And as long as those bolts are in, then shoot, things basically located where it needs to be. All right, y'all, real talk. That was close. That was way too close for comfort. I don't know if you could tell what I was trying to do, but basically I wanted to pull up on the firewall and push on the back side of the cab with the floor jack so that I could slowly tilt the cab forward and kind of straighten it up and square it up, because I got the passenger side to bolt in, and I needed this side to kind of just smooch up just a little bit for the bolt holes to line up. So that's what I was trying to do, is pull on the firewall and push on the backside of the cab to square it up. And obviously this brace gave way. All the spot welds blew out on it. Of course, all it takes is one spot weld to blow, and then the rest of them go. And the reality is this thing very easily could have hit my head, you know, or anybody. Like, it was quite the projectile, to say the least. So obviously I need to hit the reset button and rethink my process here. So, and a lot of it has to do with, like, I've been out here all day. It's hot. I haven't had anything to eat. Haven't really drank anything. Just kind of been hard at it. So I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna hit the reset button, get some rest, and we'll try again in the morning. right, we're already off to a much better start today. Came in, got these braces welded back up. Still got to go through and clean up some of the welds, make it a little prettier, but that can all come later. But we're just about ready to give this another try. So hopefully I don't almost die this time. But I think I got a pretty good game plan. I'm going to go ahead and use the strap again to at least support it, but I'm not going to quite as rely on it for the weight. I'm just going to kind of use it as like if I had a second person here helping me catching this side of the cab. But I'm just going to keep pushing from the backside. Also going to go ahead and put some jack stands down to kind of catch it. If it buckles or comes down this way really fast, at least the jack stands will catch it to where it's not like a big fall and we don't like tear up this edge or anything like that. So, all right, here we go again. Let's give it a shot. Well, I gotta say that worked pretty slick. And look, it's sitting on some jack stands. She's super solid, not going anywhere. And hey, got ourselves a floor pan. Not bad for a weekend's worth of work. Now I know this entire whole process would have been 1,000 times easier with a lift and all that fancy stuff, but man, at the end of the day, sometimes not everybody has that stuff. So it's nice to at least demonstrate what to do and in some cases what not to do on doing a floor pan swap on a 67 to 72 Chevy or GMC. And hey, there's still plenty of work left to do on this truck. I still got to do the rocker panels, the cab corners, and I also may or may not have caused a little extra damage on the back side of the cab on the roof, so we'll have to go back, pull those dents, and probably do a little paint matching with the patina on that. But hey, that's just more content, baby. But if you guys aren't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because we're just getting started on this bad boy, and there's a whole lot more fun stuff lined up.